Hey, we're here with the Snute on day 2 of Red Bull Battlegrounds New York. Snute, unfortunately, he's out of the tournament, but we'll talk to him about other stuff, I hope. So Snute, how are you feeling?
So-so. I didn't eat enough yet today, but apart from that, I'm feeling okay, I guess.
How do you feel about your tournament? I mean, you lost and you're out, but were you feeling down about that?
Yeah, I'm pretty much unaffected. I'm more concerned about my overall trend the last 2 months more than today's performance.
So you spent a month or so with CJ Entus. How was that?
Awesome. It was really great to socialize with the players. They were all awesome. They were treating me well, and the practice was great as well. I feel like I was able to improve lots of aspects of my gameplay, but still got a long way to go with pretty much everything, I feel.
Well, how did you practice? Did you just play on the Korean ladder, or was it more custom games with the CJ players?
Quite a lot of custom games with the CJ players. Not so much ladder actually. Some days I laddered a bit, but for the most part, yeah, very many customs.
Is that how everyone at CJ plays? That's the way the policy is in the house?
I think it's like this for all pro gaming teams in Korea. Sometimes they ladder, or sometimes they have lots of internal practice. Especially during pro league seasons, I'm sure there's a lot of focus on internal practice.
Well, you were already under Coach Park at EGTL, so was it the same kind of practice style when you were at EGTL as well?
Yeah, a lot of the same.
So he sets up a schedule where he says, you guys got to play together this much. Coach Park does that?
Yeah.
What was different this time around? Because obviously EGTL, it had some limitations in terms of facilities and staff. So what did CJ do differently, even though it's the same head coach?
The facilities in CJ were a lot more professional. The EGTL house was living quarters and practice apartment, and it was one and the same. The CJ house was separate, and the facilities themselves were a lot better as well. The CJ house, the EGTL house didn't necessarily have the best air conditioning. Some trouble with mosquitoes. Players were oftentimes troubled with having to answer the doorbell in order to open the door because lack of access cards, things like this. Many issues that players that prefer to live alone, for example, rather wouldn't like to experience. And none of this was present in the CJ house. The room was perfect, no mosquitoes, very good temperature for practice. Just great access to everything you want to have as a pro gamer, the comfort of your home, but also the practice of a pro gaming house. So yeah, I don't think you can get it much better than the CJ conditions.
Wait, so was there any more coaching staff? Because at EGTL it was just Trot and Head Coach Park. At CJ, were there any more coaches there?
They had additional coaches, yeah.
So what did the additional coaches take care of exactly? What do they do for the individual players?
I'm not sure about this. I don't understand Korean.
Oh, they didn't work with you specifically?
No.
Were they always looking over the shoulder of Korean players, telling what to do or anything like that?
They were helping me with practical issues, but regarding the gameplay, I talked only, for the most part, only to the players and some to Head Coach Park, but mostly with the players.
Well, what about the regular Korean players, though? Did you see them talk a lot to the coaches? I mean, just trying to get advice? Were the coaches advising them tactically, or how were they helping them out?
Yeah, I didn't pay all too much attention to that, but I think to some extent, maybe not a lot, but sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not too sure. It's better if you ask one of the Koreans if you get the chance.
All right. So you said that the living quarters and the practice quarters are separated. They're different buildings, right? And they're 10 minutes apart or so?
No, it's 2 minutes walk. So it's really great.
Do you find psychologically that it has a difference? The place where you live and the place where you work is different? Because I've heard that that's part of the reason they do that. Because living and working in the same space, mentally, it affects you.
I can see that being a thing for some, but for me, it's not that important. Yeah.
So in a single day, how much time is allotted to practice?
How many
hours is allotted to practice?
Allowed or?
Allotted. Assigned to practice.
Yeah. quite a lot. Like some days were different, but you know, somewhere in between 6, 7, 12 hours, maybe. I don't know.
So, when you're at the practice facility, you just practice there, and then you go back home. And the practice computers, you only use it for like practice, etc. Then you go back to the living quarters, and then during your free time there, what do people do? What do the players do there?
Sometimes sleeping, resting, watching TV shows. The Korean players, that is.
What was the most common hobby?
Sleeping seemed to be very common, to be honest. Just taking a nap. Sometimes going to the gym also. Sometimes watching TV shows or just hanging out with each other. So, yeah.
So who do you get along with in particular? Like, which players were you like the most friendly with?
Byung, Effort, and Hydra.
Why so? How did that happen? Were they the most like open to you, or what?
Yeah, they were the most open to me, and also spoke a lot of English. So we got along really well, and you know, yeah, it was nice.
Like, spoke a lot of English, as in it was technically good, or they were just confident enough to like speak it to you?
No, both. You know, I would say. Obviously, it was just very simple English, but they also had the confidence to, you know, speak with me and not be embarrassed about their level, things like that. So
like, what do you guys do together then?
Sometimes we go, you know, just restaurant eating. Other times we go to the movies. Yeah, not so much. You know, I was only there for 1 month, and in my free time, I also spent a lot of time just either practicing or just using the computer for internet. So I didn't really do a whole lot of, you know, typical exciting things.
You guys see Thor 2 together?
Oh no.
Okay. Because it's like Nordic themed, and you're from Norway, and your last name is Asgard.
Yeah. We watched Gravity in so-called 4D.
What?
So, you know, 3D, but also special chairs and like these kinds of air pressure things. Yeah, it seems to be a normal thing in Korea. Or
wait, so is that like, so does it enhance the experience, or does it like make it worse? Or in your opinion, does it distract you, or does it make you more absorbed?
Kind of a mix. Like in Gravity, I don't know. I guess you just need to experience it for yourself. Like at some points in the movies, you could get like air pressured air blown into your face.
But like they're in fucking space. Like I don't think there's air in space.
No, there's not.
Like, so at what scenes would it throw air at you if they're in fucking space?
I guess if the camera is inside the spaceship.
That kind of makes sense. So how much like was this entire experience?
I think the experience was really good.
How much was it though? How much did you pay? How many you won?
No, the CJ players treat me really nice, and they pay the cinema for me.
So they just like say, we're going to treat you to this. You're our guests. You don't have to pay anything.
Yeah, and I also paid for some drinking evenings.
So who do you say is the best player at CJ then, StarCraft-wise?
I had the most trouble playing against CJ Hero. I think he is probably the best. CJ Hydra is also very good, and well, all of the players are better than me, I would say. But yeah, CJ Hero impressed me a lot.
Would you say like the so again, it's head coach Park who's leading the entire team. Would you say like the atmosphere at the house was like very different, or you know, just like outside, you know, the facilities and all that, just like the general mood in the house?
Compared to EGTL, or?
Yeah, compared to EGTL, because it's the same coach, but you know, maybe it's a little bit different.
Slightly, a lot more cheerful, I would say. Yeah.
Well, it's because you weren't losing all the time, I guess.
Yeah, I think the players were also just really high spirited, or yeah, I don't know, just everyone were really happy. So.
Do you see the CJ Entus the K-pop dance movie?
I watched maybe a few seconds, but after that I didn't watch.
What do they think about that? Were they proud of that?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure everyone thinks it's funny, but also a bit awkward. But
they're guys who like don't mind doing that. They have a sense of humor. They're like, oh, whatever, we'll do this thing because it's funny.
Yeah, I think everyone feels the same.
So you think you improved a lot in that case over the time?
Sure. Yeah, I think so.
Like 1 month, you think like a person can really improve a lot in 1 month? Because you hear from like different players saying, you know, if you want to get the benefit of being in Korea, you got to be there for at least 3 months or something like that. What do you think about that kind of stuff?
I don't think that's. I don't think the time frame matters all that much. Like obviously, if you go there for 1 day, you spend 2 days traveling, and you know that's not efficient, obviously. But you know, if you spend 1 month in Korea, if you didn't spend that month there, then you would spend 1 month at home, and you know.
So regardless of your performance at Red Bull, do you think you got a lot better in Korea then?
I think so. I feel like I learned lots of new things, and my mechanics improved slightly. So yeah, I'm excited to see if it will pay off later.
Like within the house, like what level were you relative to everyone?
Somewhat below average.
So if you had a chance to go back, you would want to train in Korea continuously? Because you seem to be one of the players who really enjoys living in Korea.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit strange to live in Norway again for a few months, or at least, you know, for Christmas and New Year's.
The food is pricey, to say the least.
Yeah, and living expenses and all of that. But, you know, I have some tournament winnings now, so that's not necessarily a problem. I'm just going to... it's going to be strange to see how the practice and, you know, how I will spend my time in, you know, in a typical foreigner situation.
But, like, if the opportunity came along again, I don't know what the opportunity would be, but, you know, you got a chance to go to Korea 2014. Would you take it?
Depending on the timing, I probably would. But it depends on my life situation and everything. I might get an apartment in Norway, but, you know, that can always be rented out for a short time, so we'll see. But probably yes.
Oh, the one thing about Korea, I guess that people might not know about you, is that you really like Korean food, and you really like the spiciest Korean food.
Yeah.
Like, what's your favorite dish there?
Any kind of spicy chicken is good.
So when we talked to Parting, he said that going from Startail to SKT, he gained like 24 kilograms because I guess the quality of the food improved that much going from team to team. How's the food at CJ?
Almost the same. The food in the EGTL house was good. Yeah, I think, who knows, maybe head coach Park had was somewhat responsible for the selection, I don't know. But yeah, same if not slightly better. So really good, I think.
Tell us a funny story that happened while you were there. If we can't think of it, well, amusing or funny?
I got one.
Okay, that's great.
Okay, CJ Bunny.
Okay, the term player.
The term player?
Not Copenhagen, but CJ.
No, CJ Bunny, the Korean Terran. Yeah. He has a second identity known as Jennifer.
What? Okay.
A second identity. It's his nickname, Jennifer.
Like, does he change his persona when it says, now I'm Jennifer, and now you gotta treat me differently?
And Jennifer is really scary because Jennifer loves me in a special way.
All right, I think I'll leave it at that. Okay, anything you want to say to conclude?
That's really scary. So I try to stay away from Jennifer.
What do you want to say to conclude?
Huh?
What do you want to say to conclude?
The entire interview?
Yes, I think we'll leave it at that. Unless you want to talk more about Jennifer.
No, I don't want to talk more.
All right, we'll wrap up then.
Okay. Yeah, I'm really happy I had the opportunity to go to Korea, and yeah, it's too bad that I didn't win a single match at this event. But that's what happens when you're not super Gosu. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I'll just keep on playing because I don't have any other things to do. So I hope I can show some great matches in the future.
All right, thanks.